choose to express it. You are truly welcome here. We especially welcome any new visitors this morning. If you are new and feeling up to it, we invite you to raise your hand so we can welcome you warmly. Our call to worship this morning is Weavers of One Story by Leah Ongiri. Here we are, together, each facing our different human tasks, or maybe the same central one, to embrace the lessons life delivers, to discern and respond as we grow, to refuse harm and cherish flourishing. May we know ourselves as vessels of infinite possibility, holders of each other's heartaches and tales of joy, alike weavers of one story in which we each get to have our part.
Good morning. Good morning. Our chalice lighting this morning is from number 436 in Singing the Living Tradition by David C. Pohl. We come to this time and this place to rediscover the wondrous gift of free religious community, to renew our faith in the holiness, goodness, and beauty of life, to reaffirm the way of the open mind and full heart, to rekindle the flame of memory and hope, and to reclaim the vision of an earth made fair with all her people one.
Our songs today, test, can I have a little more? Okay. Our songs today have been chosen because of the poets. We'll be singing Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, Emily Dickinson, Margot Garcia, and Sarah Teasdale today as our poets. Would you please rise as you are able, and we'll sing All Our Architects, 288, a Longfellow poem. You'll catch it pretty easily, and here we go. Our architects of fate, working in those walls of time, some with massive deeds and great, some with ornaments of pride. For the structure that we raised, time is with materials filled. Ours today and yesterdays are the blocks with which we build today, then strong and sure, with the firm and ample base, and ascending and secure, shall tomorrow find its place. Thank you. Please be seated.
Our earth, Our earth is strong. It can hold our pain and our joy, our love and our anger. Our shared bowl, which we use for joys and sorrows each week, is strong enough to hold the big rocks, our collective celebrations and mournings, and also the smaller stones that will be added to signify our individual joys and sorrows. We who live in the desert know that water is life-sustaining and a scarce resource. Let's remember those who are walking through our desert right now without access to water. We pour water from a plastic pitcher to represent the supplies of water left by those who hold compassion for anyone crossing our desert to find a better life for themselves and their children. If you have a joy or sorrow to share, I invite you to go to menti.com and put in the code 1196-4212. Or you can scan the QR code. Please add your name to your Menti if you want us to know who is sharing. If any of you here in the sanctuary wish to put your thoughts on Menti and would like some help, Brian Moon can help you. If you are here in person, I invite you to come up to the table and create ripples of hope by putting a stone into the water to symbolize your joy or sorrow.
Whole lot on our Menti this morning. My sadness is that my pappy, daddy, lives far away. That distance is hard. My joy is that I get to see my friends. For all the children, including my own, who grow up bearing the pain of family separation. Oh, what a burden, friend. We're here with you, and we share your pain at that.
Okay, I got it. She does a remarkable imitation. Let me not pray to be sheltered from dangers, but to be fearless in facing them. Let me not beg for the stilling of my pain, but for the heart to conquer it. Let me not look for allies in life's battlefield, but to my own strength. Let me not crave in anxious fear to be saved, but hope for the patience to win my freedom. Grant me that I may not be a coward, feeling your mercy in my success alone. But let me find the grasp of your hand in my failure.
As we sing this next song, I'd like to ask you to take a breath with me. Inhale, deep breath in the belly and out. And the reason I'd like to ask for that is because I need it. And I need it to stay focused in this moment because, as some of you may have noticed, we had a power failure at 10:30, and that's made the job of the people behind that desk really hard as they're catching up. And I need to sort of find myself again. This middle song is super lovely, and we never sing it. And we never sing it because it's hard to sing unless you're looking right at the music and know how to read music. We're going to sing it twice. Feel free to jump in where you can. I suspect all of you can sing the line, "I shall not live in vain," by the end of the second time through. So count yourself lucky if you land on that. Let's try. If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not live in vain. If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not live in vain. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian, for recommending taking a deep breath. You find out how long you can hold a note when you do that, huh? Or not. The reading today is from poet Lynn Ungar, U-N-G-A-R. It's from a wonderful book of poetry called Bread and Other Miracles. It's called The Last Good Days. What will you do with the last good days? Before the seas rise and the skies close in, before the terrible bill for all our thoughtless wanting finally comes due. What will you do with the last fresh morning, filled with the watermelon scent of cut grass and the insistent bird calling sweet, sweet across the shining day? Crops are dying, economy's failing, men crazy with the lust for power and fame are shooting up movie theaters and engineering the profits of banks. It is entirely possible. It only gets worse from here. How can you leave your heart open to such a vast, pervasive sadness? How can you close your eyes to the riot of joy and beauty that remains? The solutions, if there are any to be had, are complex, detailed, demanding. The answers are immediate and small. Wake up. Give thanks. Sing. This didn't work at home either. No, it's okay. It's easier for me to hold it. Yeah, it is. So, Helen and I were speaking, and I said, "Welcome to the middle of summer." And she said, No. Speaking academically, summer is over. So I like her view a whole lot better than my view, which is 2 more months to go. Welcome to this poetry service. This is a labor of love that's been going on for almost 20 years now. A huge thank you to the worship committee for allowing us each year to offer the varied voices and perspectives from writers in our congregation. And how blessed are we to have as many writers as we do who are willing to stand up and be vulnerable in front of everybody. We don't put the words on the screen so that you can engage heart and soul with each reader's work. Otherwise, we found that if we give you something to read or we put it on a screen, everybody does this. So we'd like you to engage with the energy of the poet who's reading. In Goddard Hall during social hour, you will find booklets of the poetry that was read today. They'll be on a table when you walk in. You're welcome to take a book of poetry. I do that every year just so that you can see it on the printed page. Feel free to take one home so you can see it on the page and interact with the writer's thoughts in your own environment. There are prompts on the covers of this to give you ideas for starting your own writing. There is a wonderful woman, Susan Smith, who did 100 writing prompts just to give people ideas. As I came up through school, and those of us who liked English, which was a very small number of people, it seemed like, the chance to have ideas blossom for you and then be able to write was just something that really was special to me. So to keep things moving, we do ask you to hold any applause or silent applause until the end of the poetry, please. And a special thank you goes out to the staff who's just going crazy right now. Even if they had not had a power failure, the work they do that makes this all possible is amazing. Thank you, yes. That includes the rest of the staff who's out here participating and all the volunteers who do things that make this possible. So as a writer of poetry, since I saw my first Simon and Garfunkel lyrics in an album sleeve, that is what first started this for me. I can tell you that nothing else takes me deeper into my honest self than poetry. Each poem is its own journey, and I encourage you to chat with the poets in Goddard if something touched you, or gave you reason for reflection, or gave you a reason to laugh. So here we go. Lisa Perry Allmartin had an unavoidable conflict. It came up late, and she just couldn't get out of it. So with her permission, I'll read her 2 poems to start. From the Lookout Tower. I'm sleeping with E.E. Cummings. The complete poem's black cover from '72 jammed against my thigh. Not refined, more buck than bite, I read him 13 times a night. I have to look at this. Anais gets it. I can feel it. She moves shimmering with heat in June. Now you're over me, wrapped in night. I drove the rim road by moonlight, brazened, blazing through the atmosphere. Pocked tektites, peridot, olivine, scattered at the canyon edge. I just spent a couple of nights down in the Tombstone area and had a dark sky night where it felt like if I put my hand up above me, I would have starlight on the back of my hand. Desert rumors at 113 degrees. If you eat over 699 saguaro seeds, you could sprout a third arm. Else it was a third eye. If you were the first human to sit on a rock, it sort of belongs to you, but be prepared to share it with any number of critters. If the monsoon season starts on your birthday, you were never 15, but you will be 31 twice. If you take sand rubies across state lines, you'll be confused and headachy until you return them. If you finish reading a book while sitting in Rattlesnake Creek, it may not rain for a month or more, and that's on you. If you see a tarantula on the road and it's alive, there's a small purchase of good luck associated with that. If the tarantula is dead, then watch out for snakes. If you hear an owl hoot as you hike out just after sunset, well, it depends. If another owl across the canyon responds, that's a good thing. If there's no response, well, that's just the way life goes sometimes, doesn't it? Our first poet from the row of honored poets down here, Georgia Conway, is going to come up and read 2 of her poems. She's read for us before. I'm really glad she's with us again.
I'm glad to be here. Can you hear me? Nope. Hello, testing. Okay, this poem is quite an old poem that I'm sharing with you. It's really not about a person, but it's about a beingness. It's about you will see what it is. You will hear what it is and make up your own mind. Once I knew you as a sun-like being. Before I knew there was a difference, I hid behind the bush. All to have your arms call me out, to press through sticks and moldy leaves, and find you standing there, fresh each day. Your eye bursting with knowledge to give me what I yearn to feel. Every time I saw you on the hill, you raced down to join me at the pool, where you slapped the air with each part of you. Nor did we care where we went until they began to talk. It was something I'd never done before, to believe in words. But they said, I was old enough to know your qualities, your measurements, so I could better understand you, they said. How you are kind of like a light bulb, but there was so much more, and I would know you as you really are. Now, you who once called to me every day was myself alone, grasping this new game so efficiently, and to clearly understand, as indeed I must, they repeat again. They say, I will forget you, as things must be forgotten, that obey no rules. And this has made all the difference. So when they ask me, I'll choose to answer, how much it is that words are triumphant, how words win in life when they observe the living, how words lie behind a bush wanting to be free again. How words lie behind a bush wanting to be free again. Okay, now this one, Carolyn, you and I were in a group, I guess about 7 years ago. We were reading a book group. We read White Fragility. Do you remember? Okay, so I read this before here. And one of the parishioners came up to me afterwards and she said, "Are you okay, Georgia?" And I said, "Oh, yes, I'm very okay." But the whole idea is, to come up straight, to be straight. And, oh, boy, some things happen when I turn my head, I guess, right? I don't know. My apartheid in 1951, and I don't know if apartheid is the right word for this, but you'll find out. Something happened. Something terrible happened in 1951. A crazed mob of about 4,000 white people gathered in front of an apartment building in South Chicago. It only took one person to set the building on fire. The police and firemen stood by and did nothing while rioters tried to run a black family out of their all-white neighborhood. The father was a World War II vet who graduated from Fisk University. The riot lasted 2 days after the National Guard had to be called in using bayonets and tear gas. We never talked. The riot lasted 2 days after the National Guard had to be called in using bayonets and tear gas. I said that before. It was televised on national TV. I was 8 years old in 1951. It was a year I can remember well because I became fascinated with a girl in my 3rd grade class. She sat a few rows over, a little ahead of me. I stared at her almost obsessively. We never talked. I only knew there was a look on her face that was like a flag waving over and over, saying, "I'm scared." By a strange coincidence, her name was Gay, and mine was Joy. It was when a game captured me, my own name, trapping me. I would spell it Joy, with that hole in the center, with appendages on each side. It was so dark and foreboding, I couldn't talk about it. So the girl who had such a hold on me looked a lot like me. She was trapped too. Her dark eyes scared, her wide mouth and broad nose. I couldn't help but notice that I looked like her. I knew she loved the teacher like I did. It was such a strange thing to feel that I knew everything about her, what was inside her. One day, in the middle of a lesson, she'll shock me. She will suddenly start to sob. "She hates me, she hates me." She's crying so hard now, I can barely hear her words. But I do hear them, and all the other kids do too. I freeze. Everything will change now. My teeth are clenched. She knows about me too. Ever since the beginning of school, I'd had this feeling, but didn't know why. Everyone will know now. What will happen to me? The teacher and 2 other students come to stand at her side. While the teacher bent down to talk to her, I realized I was jealous. Everyone liked her more than they liked me, and Mrs. Berg talked to her the way a mother is supposed to talk. It seemed to last forever. I felt too afraid to think I only knew this wasn't supposed to happen. Finally, I knew that no one would come over to me. I can keep hiding then, I think, for a while. I feel relieved. I'm 8 years old.
Thank you, Georgia. We all carry stuff for a very long time, all of us. Margot Garcia has said yes again. She has 3 poems for us.
Good morning. Yes, I'm going to do it a slightly different order than it says up there. That's the right of the poet, right? What would life like? What would life be? What would my life be, so lonely, silent, still, without community, of many hugs and smiles that always welcome me? It is here that I find a cheerful place to serve, words so thoughtful and kind, music to stir the soul, thoughts to waken the mind. We welcome all who search to find their place on earth, seeking to understand just who it is I am in this, our beloved church. In our family mountain house, we have a high shelf, and on that sat a wonderful glass teapot. And that teapot was used many times, as you'll hear, but it got cracked, and it just got the tannins inside, and we scrubbed it, and it just wasn't the same. And we keep saying to my mother, "Can't we retire the teapot?" No, she said. And finally I said to her, "If I write a poem about the teapot, can we retire the teapot?" She said yes. So here is my poem for the teapot. Ode to a Beloved Teapot. Such a beautiful shape, long, oval, classical, crystal clear glass sitting high on the shelf for all to admire. Marvel how a thin glass handle could hold so many cups of steaming hot gold brown liquid. The glass inner cup kept tea leaves in check, so the tea was as clear as mountain air after rain. Used carefully for many years, its hot tea restored spirits, invoked lively conversations, stoked times of good cheer. Alas, the tea's tannins clouded the glass, scrubbing cracked the slender long spout, and thus its job was lost. Dear teapot, we bid you adieu. Your years of faithful service filling our mugs with your glorious hot brew will remain in memory, in story, called forth each time we gather for a pot of tea. And one of my most recent ones, just put it away. Put away the laundry, the groceries from the store, the broom from sweeping up crumbs that fell upon the floor. Put away the dishes, dry on the dishwasher, drying rack. Pots and pans have their special place in an ordered stack. Put away papers from filing taxes, paying bills. Don't forget the mail still sitting on the windowsill. Now put away those feelings. Life must be neat and tidy. Also memories sweet and mean, ever so mighty. Push deep inside the psyche, they fester, start to mold, like peelings in the compost pail, put out in the cold compost bin, they break down into new beginnings. Put it away, put them away. It's time for singing.
Thank you, Margot. Our next reader is Frank Valdez, and a first-time reader. For those of you who may be thinking about doing this, we have, through the years, had somebody new try it almost every year, and I encourage such behavior.
So for this poem, I was thinking about the contrast between our clockwork universe, and you may have heard of something called chaos theory. And it's also the 100th anniversary of the development of quantum mechanics, which throws a lot of logic out the window. You'll see I mentioned God, but this is a metaphor about the prime mover of our universe, so you can think of it however you like. God set the clockwork universe in motion. So have philosophers had that notion. Newton provided the gears and potion with his universal laws of motion for the clock that guides their creation. An apple falls from the tree, accelerates predictably, as mass, gravity, and time say, from Newton's laws of F equals ma. The moon circles the earth circles the sun circles the galaxy, and the galaxy rushes towards Andromeda. Thus the clockwork universe behaves. But some gears in the clock have a nick. Mercury circles the sun, but not completely to Newton's tick. The gears are distorted by Einstein's warping and do not move in simultaneity. The clockwork universe expands, but still the clock keeps perfect time. Oh no, while the planets and stars move predictably, the smallest of the universe's denizens are neither here nor there, both particles and waves, but don't move with Newton's gears or Einstein's warp. Schrödinger adds the links that they must obey as the clock ticks in probabilistic ways. Only the omniscient God can see the deterministic workings of the gears. They added the chaos butterfly to the clock. They added the uncertainty principle plot. They added the interconnectedness of all things in the web of the universe. For us, it's a chaos and quantum clock. The butterfly flaps its wings and stirs the air, thus shaking the complex web. Molecules collide in air and clouds, but we cannot predict if a hurricane will brew afar. The electron particles may appear on the other side of a barrier, then behave as waves as they interfere. An atom may decay in a box and kill the cat. We cannot know until we look. And yet we know tomorrow and tomorrow our electronics will work, the sun will rise and shine, the cosmos will tick and talk in accordance with the chaos clock.
If you think it's easy to take intergalactic science and put it to poetry, I challenge you to give it a shot. Sometimes I had a conversation with Frank. We divide people into science students and English students and people who liked science or didn't like science or liked words and history and things. And that line exists for a long time. They can go like this. Thank you, Frank. Mel Fish is our next poet. Give her a little bit of time to get up here. She's got a brand new knee she's working on, and she is already up. I can tell you from just doing two of them, that deserves applause.
Good morning. I wrote this poem shortly after our last election. Our system. I did not make this system we live in. You did not make this system we live in. Heavy lies long built in. Growth of hate long built in. I did not make the system we live in. You did not make the system we live in. The hate with lies built into, with stolen land, with stolen souls. Man-made religion, I did not make the system we live in. You did not make the system we live in. The hate of our mother, the life of all, the hate of her children. I did not make the system we live in. You did not make the system we live in. A fire on our Mother Earth, all our mother's creations fighting too. Heavy lies long built in, growth of hate long built in. I did not make the system we live in. You did not make the system we live in. With the warm light of our universe and our mother's strong belief, I can create our system of hope we live in. You can create a system of hope we live in. Thank you.
Thank you, Mel. I can tell you that the therapists you're going to deal with will not be your favorite people. But when you can walk around on your new knee, then they become your favorite people. So hang in there. I'm our last poet today. I have two things that I would like to read. The first one is called Altering Perceptions. What names circle us for the scent of familiar we never know? What branches won't bear our weight tomorrow we never know? What gears ratchet us backward from any precipice we never know? What black sponge night murmurs before leaving we never know? What notes arrange us into new music we never know? What tides intertwine us before we open to knowing we never know? What we never know is the sound a flower brings to our hollow bones. And that is all we never know about all we know all too well. So this one came from reading the Sunday comics. And as often happens in the silly world around us, you see a picture or you see a phrase or something, and this comes from a particular comic. From the mouths of babes. As that infamous and notorious angel, Dennis the Menace, crawls into the car after church, he asks his parents, "How are we supposed to get to heaven if we don't get our wings until we get there?" How indeed. There are lots of earthly solutions. A quick check of an allegedly smart phone reveals Halloween 3D Angel Devil Big Wings White, Black Wings Cosplay, extra large black feather angel wings, 58-inch full-length featherless white angel wings, realistic angle wings costume, Christmas stage show fairy wings, LED Isis wings, luminous costume, angel devil fallen angel cosplay costume, white phoenix wings, extra large red feather angel wings, adult archangel wings for men, and innocent angel white corset dress with thigh-high white patent leather boots. Available from individual websites or, of course, shipped from Amazon with a hefty donation. The word free now having lost its grade school arithmetic skills. Also apparently no longer relevant based upon close examination of the photos in the ads is the original Greek etymological concept of angels. Well, actually the Greek translation of the Hebrew word for messenger as divine intermediaries or messengers between God and humanity. Call me a literary skeptic, or heck, a free market blasphemer, Because shouldn't authentic angel wings be delivered by personal celestial transport only? Just saying. I have always loved poetry for the fact that you can take the smallest, most insignificant thing for the day and write a poem about it, and you can take the biggest celestial event of the day and write a poem about that as well. Thank you. Thank you. And please thank these poets. And am I in the wrong spot?
However you participated in today's service, our congregation depends on you for your love, your time, and your financial support. For those of you here in person, the ushers will soon be passing the collection baskets. For those joining distantly, you can send a check to our church office or give online at uuctucson.org/donate. The offering is a sacrament of the Free Church. It is supported by the voluntary generosity of all who join with us. The offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation of our shared hopes and values. As the offering is collected, announcements about upcoming activities will appear on the screen.
Test. So, We're good. I'm glad because they're not there.
Good morning. For those who don't know me, my name's Carolyn Valdez, and I'm on your board of trustees. My portfolio is community life. I want to first invite everyone to social hour after the service in Goddard Hall, which is out the double doors behind you and to your left. There will be coffee, iced tea, lemonade, snacks, and good company. Social hour food and refreshments are free for all, and donations are appreciated to cover our costs. If you are new and want to stay in touch with us, you can fill out a guest information card in the Welcome Center in Goddard. You can also find a virtual guest information card in the newcomer section of our website. Maybe you noticed the announcement for the grief and loss group. That's one of the groups in my portfolio, and I just wanted to let you know a little more about it. They meet every Sunday at 12:15 in the Emerson Room, which is in the Goddard building. I liked what they said in the annual report describing this group. It's a place to bring your broken heart and your feelings of loss after losing someone or something that has been dear to you. A person, a pet, a career, your health, etc. With the caring support of other church members, as well as members of the greater Tucson community, group members often find they begin a healing journey which is followed by more joy in living. And there's a new development. There's now a midweek meeting for what might be called art therapy, but is really coloring and drawing with colored pencils. It has been so relaxing and pleasant that they've decided to invite anyone, adults, in the congregation to join them on the second and fourth Thursday of each month from 1 to 3. So this is in the same room, the Emerson Room? In Goddard. Yes, so please join them. Thank you.
And ideally at this moment, something that is very difficult to happen would happen. Ideally at this moment, a bunch of kids would be running in the back of the room. And they're not, one of my suggestions is that we take this off the slide so that this doesn't, so that we don't draw attention to the fact that it's very difficult to time this. We are going to sing a new song right now. The new song is to be sung to the children as they come in, and it was a lovely song composed by Margot Garcia, and I'm very grateful for the song, and I'm sorry that the timing didn't work out quite as intended. But we'll sing it through twice today if you'll leave the slide up for just a little bit longer so the song will catch. And I'm very grateful also to Maestro Tom Gregg, who is subbing in for Danielle, who was unable to be here. Please begin. Oh, hey, come on in. There we go. Wait, hold on. Hold that. Roll that again bigger. Come on in. Come on in. They're waiting. The kids are politely waiting for Lily to open the door for them, but Wendy's going to go at the door. Ready? Come in. Come in. Please enter and come here. Come in. Come in. We're glad that you are here. You are learning, you are growing, just as we are too. We are thinking, we are singing, so glad to share this space with you again. Come in, please enter and come here. Come in, we're glad that you are here. You are learning, you are growing, just as we are too.
thank you, Margot. What a lovely song. And all the poets today. Whoa. World premiere going on the world stage in our new digital hymnal. That's one of the other exciting changes that's happening is the UUA pushed out a digital hymnal, which we have purchased a subscription to and will be using. So we're getting new hymns. Now, a lot of the old stuff from the gray and the teal hymnal are in there too, so we're not losing anything, we're just adding new hymns. And we've got a new welcome song. We also have some new staff members in our nursery. Say hi, come out and say hi to them. Nikki and Annalisa. We're so excited, we've got a full staff now with Lily at the helm. And Lily is not here again this morning, out with the kids that stayed over there. So. Yeah. So I have a book for us today, and I'm going to sit right here. Anybody that wants to come close is welcome to come join us here. The pictures will be up on the screen, and I invite you just to look at the screen because the pictures themselves are fascinating. This book is called If, and if anybody wants to see the book a little bit more closely, you're welcome to come over here. Now, the first page, let's look together at the first page. If cats could fly. Can we see that up there? If cats could fly. That's all the book asks, right? And just like poetry, these pictures ask us to think about what could happen if. What could happen if cats could fly? Okay, let's look at the next one. If mice were hair? If mice were hair? And the picture just has a person's profile with mice as hair. Let's look at the next one. If worms had wheels? If worms had wheels, what could we imagine would happen if? Oh, and the next one. If frogs ate rainbows, what could happen if? And the next one. If dogs were mountains, the next one, if zebras had both stars and stripes. You can see the stars in the zebra's fur. If music could be held, what would that feel like? What would it look like if music could be held? If ugly were beautiful. This is a warthog with lots of tusks and spiky fur and a tiara, which makes everything beautiful. If toes were teeth. Ugh. Ugh. You'd have to floss your toes. Oh, and this one, if caterpillars were toothpaste. What would happen if whales lived in outer space? Where would they go? What would they do? What would they eat? Exactly. If leaves were fish. If leaves were fish, what would happen? If clouds were spirits. If butterflies were clothes, you wouldn't want some to fly away on you, I think. If lightning created rhinos, rhinoceroses, if lightning created rhinoceroses, if ants could count, if the moon were square. Is that possible, Frank? Physically, is that possible? But our imagination might wonder what would happen if kids had tails. I think we have a kid that would not like a tail. If spiders could read Braille, this one is a book with a spider on a Braille book. If hummingbirds told secrets, and this one is a hummingbird telling a secret to an ape. If this is the end, then dream up some more. And poetry is so wonderful because you can find inspiration in anything, in a comic, in a cartoon, in a book of pictures. Go write your poetry.
Our last song today is Life Has Loveliness to Sell. Please rise as you are able. It's 329 of the Great Hymnal, and the words will be on the screen. Life has loveliness to sell, all beautiful and splendid things. Blue waves whitened on a cliff, soaring fire that sways and sings, and children's faces looking up, holding wonder like a cup. Life has loveliness to sell, has music like a curve of gold, scent of pine trees in the rain, eyes that love you, arms that hold, and for your spirit still delight, holy thoughts that star the night. Spend all you have for loveliness, to buy and never count the cost. For one singing hour of peace, count a year of strife well lost. And for a breath of ecstasy, give all you have been or could be. Thank you.
To extinguish the challenge, to extinguish the chalice, number 456 from Singing the Living Tradition by Elizabeth Sell Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you all.